Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a multi-character extruder by me, so let's get into it. Child. Child has obviously done this before, perhaps even multiple times. But the times he does it most is when he's at a restaurant, and you are busy just looking at the food and admiring it, and trying to pick something off the menu, and maybe the waiter staring at you too much. And that's when his hand would wander down your thigh, caressing it, and perhaps even giving it a little squeeze, which makes you blush. Look at him. And of course, Child, being the tease he is looking at the waiter, just telling him to back off. Because if the waiter doesn't, this will be rather unpleasant, and he doesn't want to ruin your dinner date. So, of course, he was looking for this as an alternate method. And it was working very well, he could say so himself. Not to mention, it also got you to blush, which was always a win in Child's book. So, hey, even if you're embarrassed, he was having the time of his life. Maybe try to embarrass him back. Albedo. Albedo does this a lot absent-mindedly. And this was even more true when you were together. So imagine that Albedo forgets that you're in public and does this. Oh, it was going to be a little bit embarrassing for the two of you, but not nearly as embarrassing for you. So, what happens exactly? Basically, someone decides to visit the lab for the Knights of Hivanius, and since Albedo's used to reading or just doing things, with you sitting right next to him and doing your own thing as well, no wonder his hand wanders down to your thigh and caresses it gently. And he forgets that there are others with you in the room, others who could see very well what was happening, and maybe shouldn't have to see all of this. But he noticed. He just smiled apologetically, giving you a little smirk, while you blushed, clearing your throat, and trying to get on with whatever meeting or thing that you had to do, telling them to go and explore somewhere else until you were free to deal with them. And of course, you had Albedo to deal with. So either give him a lecture, or maybe a kiss on the cheek. Venti. Venti does this even more than anyone else on this list. It's just a thing he does. Something he doesn't notice he's doing, and something he really loved doing. Because it was fun seeing her react, especially when it happened in public. And even worse, he does this a lot more when he was trying, and in front of everyone in the tavern. So you could be just having a night out, and he drinks a little bit too much, and too much really meant really much because Venti was an Archon, and you will start caressing your thighs, squeezing them, even if you just tried to hush him up and tell him that this was not the place for this, while he would only laugh and proceed to tease you loudly in front of everyone. And then, soon after, you'd be getting looks from everyone in the tavern, and you'd be blushing bright red, while Venti's totally unaware of the mess he's causing. That's when you know you really need to take this part home before you break up or something, because this was beyond embarrassing for you, and you were going to have to teach him a lesson, you say, for the 10th time. And then you don't. Kazuha. Kazuha was very polite and considerate, which meant things like affection would be kept to a minimum when you were in public. And that would increase, of course, when you were in private. But caressing your thighs in public? Maybe, but not very likely. And the only reason it happened was because the two of you were in the credits late at night, and you thought that no one would notice, and most of the crew were asleep. It was only you two, spending some time together. And you'd hoped that no one would notice or see you two at all, but it just so happened that Beta was awake, and saw him, and gave you two a wink, telling you to spend some time together since you have worked so hard. which was sweet of her, but also embarrassing a little bit to the two of you. And you accepted their gesture. Kaza thanking her and telling her that he's sorry for doing such scandalous things and being caught, which made her laugh harder, telling him that this is nothing, and he knows nothing of what she did before. This was, at most, considered adorable and cute, which honestly makes you curious. What did Beru do? But no one knows. No one knows. Scaramouche. Oh, Scaramouche would actually love this because caressing your thighs in public was really his thing. He loved showing everyone that you were his lover and you were only meant to love him and that only he was allowed to touch you. Yes, with all the emphasis I said, and perhaps even more. You know how I said he would love to have you in his lap most of the time? Well, he would love people seeing you sitting on his lap half the time like that, because he loves spilling you and kissing you, and then treating his Badui servants like shit. All while you were just chilling there in his lap as he kissed you and caressed your thighs. Would he do it in public outside of the Fatsui office? Obviously. He loved showing everyone just how loved you were. And the only thing that made him embarrassed was when he was not being possessive. Any other time, he justifies it and says that he is only marking his territory or whatever. So let him. At least he's being affectionate in public. Right? Xiao. Xiao would get really embarrassed if someone caught him. He only does this sometimes when you were cuddling, and it's very rare that he actually lets his hands wander like that. He's very embarrassed and shy and cute, which means something like this would really make him blush so hard if he were caught. And let's say you were just dining out at some exclusive restaurant in Liyue, so why would anyone else be there? Well, it just so happened that Chongli was coming, and he was going to have dinner here to meet with Ningguang and discuss future Liyue things with her that he didn't know and didn't care about. But the fact that he was seen while Ningguang and Chongli smiled his way, this was embarrassing. And even though they went their own way after just waving at you and greeting you, he was embarrassed in no end. And you had to take a cooling off period just to calm him down. Thankfully, it went away pretty quickly after you visited him with some good food, which was always a solution to any problem you had with Xiao.